This podcast is brought to you by the Maryland State Library Agency. The MSLA podcast features presenters from statewide youth programs, as well as learning opportunities for library staff and resources for patrons of the Maryland State Library for the Blind and Print Disabled.
The following is a presentation of the Technology User Group at the Maryland State Library for the Blind and Print Disabled. For more information about the Technology User Group, including upcoming sessions or archived recordings from previous sessions, please visit our website, lbpd.maryland.gov. That's L, B as in Bravo, P as in Paul, D as in Delta, .maryland.gov. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Technology User Group. I certainly want to thank everyone for coming out on a Saturday, and I think you'll find today's presentation to be interesting and entertaining. So first up, we have Peter from the Columbia Lighthouse of Maryland, and Peter's going to talk about what he does for the Lighthouse and a little bit information about what they do on a day in and day out basis. So here's Peter.
Hello, my name is Peter Namsanith, and I am the Assistive Technology Instructor here at the Columbia Lighthouse for the Blind. I've been working here for the Columbia Lighthouse for the Blind since 2022 and been teaching assistive technology since 2018. I've been actually using assistive technology since the late 90s. And a little bit about myself, I'm legally blind, low vision. At the age of 4 months old, I was diagnosed with a disease called retinoblastoma, which is a childhood cancer. My left eye had to be removed and my right eye was treated with radiation. Due to the treatment of radiation, caused my right eye to develop cataracts along with a cornea scarring, which made me essentially become low vision. As a child, I've been exposed to assistive technology devices, and I've been using it, as mentioned before. These devices include talking calculators, talking watches, CCTVs, handheld magnifiers, readers, binoculars, telescopes, whatever you can think of. I've used it all, or almost used it all. In the late 90s, I was introduced to JAWS and Zoom text. Because before, when we first bought a computer, my family bought a computer, I would used to stick my eyes really close to the computer screens and at home and at school. And once my vision teacher saw this, they showed me that there are softwares that could help me be able to see better and also to operate the computer. And these softwares were JAWS and Zoom text. Once I was introduced to JAWS and Zoom text, I fell in love with technology right away, especially the computer. After purchasing Zoom text, my parents purchasing Zoom text for me, I would sit on the computer all day and night, just trying to figure out how it works, how it operates. Many of the times I would mess something up on the computer and try to fix it, mess up a setting and try to fix it. And eventually I just became really familiarized and became an advanced user of Windows. Throughout middle school and high school, I have interned for companies such as Bartimaeus Group, along with the Columbia Lighthouse for the Blind. So that way keeps me up to date with the technology that was currently out during that time. After graduating high school, I attended college and worked part-time at Best Buy. That also kept me in touch with technology. Worked at Best Buy for 13 years. After working at Best Buy, I ended up working at a company called K-12 as a placement counselor, helping students, placing them into classes. K-12 is an online public school, and I help students with IEPs and 504 plans get placed into classes and providing them with the accommodations that they needed. After that, I worked for a company called TCS and now currently working for Columbia Lighthouse for the Blind. At the Columbia Lighthouse for the Blind, I'm currently teaching smartphones such as Android and iPhones. I teach people the beginning steps of how to operate, navigate, and using the phone. I Google Voice, Siri voice commands. Then we'll move on to voiceover, navigation, and lastly, teaching the students how to use helpful, accessible apps such as Be My Eyes and Seeing AI. I also teach Fusion, which is JAWS and Zoom text, or I can teach JAWS and Zoom text individually, depending on the students' or individual's needs. I teach anybody from beginning level, such as somebody has never used a computer, has never typed before, to advanced users, depending on, once again, on their needs, tailoring their instructions to what they need. So lastly, here at the Columbia Lighthouse, what kind of services we provide are assistive technology services and training, mobility training, independent living skill trainings, along with foundation adjustments to blindness training, and all this information that people would like to get more information about. You can reach the Columbia Lighthouse directly at our website, www.clb.org, or you can reach us directly at our phone number at 202-454-6400. Thank you so much.
Would you like to get the Technology User Group presentation every month with little effort? Just subscribe to the Maryland State Library Agency podcast using your favorite podcast catcher. Then each month you will automatically receive informative and inspiring presentation. Remember, you can also listen on your smartphone or speaker. Say something like, "Alexa, play Maryland State Library Agency podcast."
So we're going to hear from Diane, who's going to talk about the Maryland Accessible Telecommunications Program and the changes that are going on. I believe Diane has her hand raised.
Okay.
Yeah. Hi, Peter.
Hi.
This is Diane Ducharme. I just have a little comment. We have a lot in common. Number one, I used to work at Columbia Lighthouse. And number two, I'm also retinoblastoma. So when you said that, my ears perked up. Because
your ears perked up, huh?
Yeah, there's not many of us out there.
Yeah. I guess I gotta reach out to you to see about, medical wise and all that stuff. I thought I was the only one. Yeah, okay.
Yep. So yeah, anytime I hear retinoblastoma, I'm like, wow, gotta talk to them.
Were you bilateral or?
I was bilateral. Yeah.
I'm the same way. So I'm sure you went through the whole adventure like I did.
Pretty much, yeah. Similar stories, yeah. My son. So I have two sons. My oldest has the gene, the retinoblastoma gene, but never developed any tumors from it.
That's a God blessing. Yeah,
it sure is. And my youngest one is unilateral, but since my history, we discovered it right away. So his eyes are perfect now.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
And then are you a JAWS user yourself?
I am. Yes.
Okay. And I'm sure you taught before, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
So based on your,
I was at CLB from like 98 to 2004.
So you probably know Matt Ader was there during that.
I sure do. He's a good friend of mine. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yep. Matt Ader was the one that introduced me to JAWS during that time. He came out he had his Toshiba Tecra laptop with running Windows 95 during that time and connecting to the internet during that time. And then when I was interning, remember with Bobby Bobo, Ryan Collier?
Oh yeah, Bobby. Yes.
It was the camp program in the Fairfax County Talking Books.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yep. So and then my supervisor during that time was Shauna Smith. So he was like the camp director or whatnot. Yeah. So it's time to gone by really fast.
It has, yes. All right. Well, I'll let somebody else talk to you.
Yeah, I believe cell phone ending in 860, I believe, has their hand up.
Okay.
I
Yes.
could be wrong about the ending, but
Hi, my name is Fred Kamara.
Hi.
Hello.
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes, this is Fred Kamara. Yes. I had my first training in computers at the Columbia Lighthouse for the Blind. Then they were located at P Street in DC.
Oh, that was a
And
long time ago.
my tutor was Edith Parker.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, um, my question is, does Columbia Lighthouse still have the assistive technology or instant appliances store where blind people can purchase things like watches, etc.?
Unfortunately, we do not, and a lot of people has requested and asked about that. But unfortunately, I do apologize. We do not have the supply store or gift shop that we used to have on P Street. No, but you can go to Maxi Aids, Independent Living Aids, and they can that those two websites or companies has the stuff that you would need from large print paper, 2020 pen, talking scales, watches, etc. So I would recommend either Independent Living Aids,
Right.
Maxi Aids, yeah. But unfortunately, we do not have an on-site store.
Okay.
No. Any other questions?
860 again has raised their hand.
Okay.
Oh, okay, they lowered it. Okay,
Okay.
let's see if
Okay.
there's anybody else here. I'm not as quick at this as some people are. If there's anyone else that has their hand raised and I don't see you, just go ahead and unmute yourself and ask Peter the question.
So, Jerry, this is Janice.
Yes, Janice.
I guess what is the process that the individual would reach out to their local rehabilitative service organization, such as DOORS or what is it, VRI in Virginia or whatever, or DRS or whomever, to see if they can get services from Columbia Lighthouse, or would you reach out directly to Columbia Lighthouse if you wanted Peter's services? I've been trying to work with DOORS.
Yeah, I think the options are that you could try it both ways.
You can try it both ways.
Yeah.
What county are you again?
I'm in Prince George's County, and
Okay.
so
So
I've
she's
been
right in your
told
neck
that
of
the
the woods.
Lighthouse gets very little funding from our county, which might be what's holding,
I would try both ways. It doesn't hurt to try both ways. So it's always good to try. So I would try to contact them on Monday and also work with your doors counselor as well.
Okay.
If you have
Okay.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any other questions for Peter? Yeah. From what back in the day when Jennifer had done the presentation, they had some grant money to cover other sections of the state. So I would definitely tell you to call Columbia Lighthouse and see what that situation is, because I don't know what all they have. The worst thing that can happen is they say no, right? So give them a call.
Yeah, it doesn't hurt to ask both, to try both ways. So you never know. Miracles do happen.
And sometimes it all depends on what it is that you're seeking as well. So maybe
Yeah.
they have certain money in certain areas more so than in another. So you just never know. Any other questions for Peter? I will tell you guys that Bookshare will be doing the presentation in February. So I hope that you'll be able to come out in February on the 8th, I believe it is.
Oh, okay.
And then
will be joining that.
We'll have Christine Ha come out in March, which will be very exciting. 657 has raised their hand. 657, go right ahead.
Okay.
Again, on the cell phone, it's *6 to unmute.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Hello, TUG, Technology User Group, and TUG Group Nation. I forgot what they were.
Yeah, Peter was with Columbia Lighthouse.
Oh, CLB. Okay.
Yes.
I was with long time ago. I was with Camp Lighthouse. And I was a member of CLB. What is next? What is next for the organization? Like, do they have like programs for for members like me, 40 plus or 50 plus or so on, or
Are you looking for like a
or
social, like a support group or like a social group?
yes,
Okay.
yes, like a social group or get together.
Okay. You can, like I said, you can call
I
the
know, I
Lighthouse.
know, I know, I know they have Victoria Hammond Circle of Friends, but they should have another group because they have a conference call. Someone told me they have a conference call on every first Friday. I'm not sure if they still have it, but I know they have Circle of Friends.
Yes, they have,
Victoria Hamilton Circle of Friends.
yeah, there's Circle of Friends and there's another support group. But I would, like I said, I would recommend to call and speak to either Rahel, Chriselle, or Miss Kathy, and they could provide you with more information on the different support groups. Okay, I don't want to say anything that that given me misinformation, but I believe there's another support group.
Okay, I'll call them on Monday.
Okay, yep. And then trust me, when you call, you will get all the information you want. You're gonna get the whole 9 yards. I'm just giving the basics of the basics, and once you call in, you'll be educated with the plethora of knowledge that you surprisingly that you I learn new things with them every day as myself. So
Okay.
yep. Thank you for your question. That's a very good question. A lot of people do ask about that are taking training with me. Then thank you for bringing that up.
Oh, my pleasure.
Yep.
Anyone else have any questions for Peter?
I have a question for you, Jerry.
Okay.
How you said somebody had raised their hand. How do you raise your hand? What do you press on the?
All right. On the phone, it's *9 to raise your hand, and on the
Oh,
computer,
so how
it's
do I get the keyboard? No, on this Zoom.
When you're on an iPhone, right?
Yeah.
It depends on. Maybe Peter has a better explanation. I know it all depends on where you have navigated to.
Yeah, generally you would swipe to it, and it would say there's a picture of a hand, and you would double tap on it.
So she
No.
has to go into reactions. Just
Under
swipe down to
reactions?
reactions.
Okay.
And raise your hand.
So where it says leave call and all, you keep
Keep
swiping.
going past that.
Keep going. Yes.
You should hear reactions. I'm sorry, it's above that.
I got it. Thank you.
Yep.
Yep.
God bless you.
Thank you, Rekha.
Thank you. That helps because otherwise I hear many times people saying raise hand.
Yeah. You're
And
always learning. That's what I like about you. The Rekha is one of my former students too. You always teach. You always.
But I've forgotten everything because I never had the notes.
I'll send it to you again, and it's saved on your computer as well.
Yeah, it's been a while, so
Okay.
I'm not able to do those things.
Any other questions? And we have Diane's actually going to be giving the next presentation on the Maryland Accessible Telecommunication Program.
Very the map, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, very nice. I need to learn about this too because a lot of people have asked me about it. So
there's a lot of neat stuff that Matt's able to do.
Yes.
So if there's no more questions for Peter, then we'll just turn it over to Diane and she can talk about the MAP program and what's been going on.
Okay, well,
thank you, Peter.
Thank you. Yep. Thank you.
Yeah.
If you guys think of any questions before we end the conference or meeting, just let me know.
All right, thank you, Peter. We also have other Nat friends here, especially Jane, who is in charge of the TTT MAT program, and we have some other trainers on the call as well that I saw. So, Jane, do you want to start with just giving a general background on what MAT is?
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. Yes, this is Jane Hager. I am a Maryland Accessible Telecommunications Specialist, and a group of us came up with the Talk, Text, and Train program. I love that name, and that name was thought of by Diane. Thank you, Diane, for that. So Talk, Text, and Train is a service that we provide to our blind users where they have one-on-one training sessions. So let me back up a little bit and tell you about what MAT is. As the Maryland Accessible Telecommunication Program, our goal is to provide people throughout the state of Maryland who qualify for our services, which means that you are a person with a verifiable disability, which poses a barrier to being able to use telecommunication. And because of the way telecommunication has changed over the past decade or more, we now see that as not only being able to make and receive a phone call, but also being able to text, use video phones, and do email. So maybe you're not a person who wants to do all of that, but definitely you're a person who needs to do some of that. In addition to that, we have an income cap, and that is 400% of federal poverty level, which is very generous. For one person, that is $60,240. It may have gone up a little bit for 2025. I'm not sure, but that's what it was as of 2024. So your income is capped at that. We provide services to anyone age 3 and older, and you live in Maryland. There's a application process. We have an online application. So if you're able to do that, you can go to MAT, which is MAT hyphen apply apply.org. And that will take you through that electronic version of the application. You can upload documents through that. And those documents would include a proof of income. If you're working, it would mean 2 pay stubs. If you're a person who receives Social Security, it would be that Social Security award letter that comes out annually, and a copy of a photo ID and a copy of a utility bill. And the goal there is that the address on the ID matches the utility bill. And then there is a form called a disability certification form, and that needs to be signed by someone who can verify your disability. So it could be a doctor, an OT, a social worker, a vocational rehab counselor, anyone that has a healthcare number or who is listed on that form. Once we get the application and approve it, an evaluator will work with the individual to come up with a solution and talk about the different kinds of equipment that we provide. After that is determined, the equipment is sent to the individual and a trainer is assigned to work with them. Now, right now, we are in a little bit of a crisis. We're waiting on a budget amendment. We've had to pause our one-on-one training, but we will be starting that up again sometime soon. We're not exactly sure when yet, but sometime soon. And I think by the latest, sometime in the spring, it may be April. But when that training is again available, it is going to be structured a little bit differently than what we've had in the past. And by that, I mean it will be limited to a designated number of sessions for each person. We haven't quite determined how many sessions that will be, but we hope it will at least match what Division of Rehab provides. And I believe the Maryland Division of Rehab program provides, I think it's 12 hours. Tiffany or Diane, can you verify that?
Yeah, it's a maximum of 12.
Yeah. So we'll at least match that. And I think that we will, I'm hoping, also be able to provide more depending on what the person's technology skill level is. So that's kind of where we're at right now. It's a great program, and there's all kinds of equipment available. And I'm going to give it back over to Diane to talk about that. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Jane. Yeah, so we have, as Jane mentioned, there's several devices that people can choose from, including iPhones, and there is also a blind shell, mini vision, real Sam, and I think that's it. We were carrying other devices that just didn't seem to be favorites of people. So Jane, the Hable, which is a little, oh gosh, it's like the size of a deck of cards, and it has one braille cell on it that you could use to operate your cell phone. You could use it on iPhones. You could use it on the blind shell. And it's just another way to input information or to select things as well. Jane, am I missing any equipment?
Yeah, we do provide Androids. If you're an Android user and there's a specific model, we might be able to get it for you. We also do have some equipment that has worked really well for a very few number of people, Smart Vision 3. But yeah, we're pretty versatile on what kind of equipment we can get for people. It seems like blind shell and iPhone are the most popular, but it really depends on the needs and ability of the individual. That's why we like to do kind of a one-on-one assessment to at least try and get the right equipment. Sometimes that doesn't work out, and an exchange needs to be made, and we wish we had a better way of figuring out through like a temporary trial what would be the best fit. But at this point, it's just kind of that one-on-one evaluation. We provide the equipment. If the individual isn't a good match for it, then we do make an exchange at this point.
Yeah, and also the MAP program, we're addressing the blind and low vision group here, but it's also available for people with other disabilities as well. People who have hearing issues, people who have mobility issues, and may not be able to either hold a phone, or they may have issues with the ability to use that phone with their hands. So the evaluators will work with them to see which device will work best.
Yeah, thanks for that, Diane.
Mm-hmm.
We additionally provide accessories. So, for example, if a person has no use of their hands, we can provide a mount and even switches or gaze type devices to activate whatever kind of equipment they receive. And in addition to the technology, as far as the wireless technology, we still do offer landlines, which in some cases is the best solution for someone.
So if you are somebody who cannot use a standard cell phone, and what we mean by that is if you're somebody who has to have voiceover to use your phone, you have to have speech, say like on a blind shell where the phone, everything talks to you, or if you need Zoom really big magnification to use the phone, then the MAP program is something that you should look into to get a device that's actually going to work for you, because the main focus is communication. We want people with disabilities to be able to communicate with each other on social levels, professional levels, emergency levels. You need to have equal access to communication. And that is what MAT is all about. So, Jane, if you want to talk again about that, how to find that application or how they can get more information.
Absolutely. Yeah. So in addition to that online link I mentioned before, you can call our office and get a application mailed to you or emailed to you. And you can reach out to me to get that. And my number is 301-974-1946. The 800 number at the office is 800-552-7724. You can also email me at Jane, Jane .Hager, HAGER, at maryland.gov. Maryland is spelled out. Everything is small case letters. And request that an application is mailed or emailed to you. If you're in a situation where you don't have any help to get something like this filled out, we do have workarounds for that, where our office staff will set up a time where they'll call you and we'll help fill it out on our end and then mail it to you to sign off and gather your documents and then mail it back to us. So we've got ways to work around it. But yeah, if you have any questions about it, give us a call. We're happy to help you.
And this program is for the entire state of Maryland. It's not a territorial thing. So no matter where you live in Maryland, you're good.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Now, and a couple other things to mention. The program is considered a loan program. That means that the equipment we distribute is still considered state property. That's to your advantage because we absolutely want you to use that equipment as if it were yours, but the state will cover it if something happens. For example, if it stops working due to a defect, or suppose you drop it accidentally and the screen cracks, or something happened. We carry a warranty on it for 3 years. It can be sent back to our vendor to get repaired. So that's one of the great advantages. Now, that's the way things are right now, and it could be that will change in the future, but that is our policy at this point. There is also, when you have these devices, there is what's called mobile device management. And that's put on there to, if the phone should get lost or stolen, and you contact the vendor immediately. And this is for Apple products, not for blind shells, real SIMs, or mini visions, strictly Apple products. But if you contact the vendor immediately, they can actually try and track that device and find out where it is. And that also holds true for the Android wireless devices as well. So yeah, if you have any questions, reach out. I'm happy to answer them for you.
860 actually has their hand raised. So 860, if you want to unmute and ask your question, that'd be great.
Hello.
Yes, you're a little low, but we can hear you.
Can you hear me? Okay. My name is Fred Kamara, and first of all, I would like to have the phone numbers given earlier. And the next thing is, if you need a scanner, as I get a lot of mail, and I'm totally blind. I can't read the mail. I have to have somebody read them to me. But there are devices that can scan and read you. Does this program cover such equipment?
So, Fred, first, let me give you the phone numbers again. If you want to call and request an application, the best number is 800-552-7724. Okay,
800-552-7724. Right.
that is correct. Now, if you get voicemail, this is a crazy aside fact about Maryland Accessible Telecommunication. Are you ready for this? For some reason, there are many offices in the state that have us down as the contact for instance, Blue Cross and Blue Shield and several other offices. So we probably get 30 or 40 calls a day that are not for us, they're for other places. So you may just get a voicemail when you call that number. If you do, please just leave your name, your phone number, and say that you want to get an application, leave your address, and someone will get back to you and send you an application. But it's a crazy situation with our phone number. It's been very frustrating over the years. So that may be one reason why if you call that number, you'll end up on a voicemail if somebody doesn't pick up. You can also reach out to me. And again, my phone number is 301-974-1946.
Just give me one moment, please. Hello. Let me hear that number again, please.
Sure.
301
974
974 19
46 1946.
That's a very interesting. That's a very interesting number for me. Yeah. Okay. And the name.
Yeah. My name is Jane Hager.
Hager.
Correct.
Okay. Thank you.
Now, your question about other devices, especially something that would help you to read, that's the amazing thing about this technology that we're offering. Although they are phones, they are really an assistive technology machine. And Diane can speak more to the different apps and ways that you can go about that with many of the devices. So I'm going to hand it back to her.
Okay. Yeah. So on the iPhone, we have things like Seeing AI, we have Be My Eyes, which you could either use the volunteer to help you read, or you could use the assistive technology. We also have on the Real Sam, they have a way to use it to read text as well. There's also Google Lookout, Tap. I mean, there's tons and tons of apps for the iPhone and Android devices that will allow you to read your mail. On the blind shell, there's Google Lookout, there's Be My Eyes, which also has the Be My AI. There's also Envision AI on the blind shell. So whichever device you choose between the blind shell, the iPhone, and the Real Sam, you will find that you can use it as a scanner to read your mail.
Yeah, thank you, Diane. And again, because we are focused on telecommunication, we don't provide any other kind of equipment, such as, a CCTV or magnifiers or readers that you might be able to get elsewhere. I do want to mention that there is a fantastic state program called the Maryland Technology Assistance Program. They are a assistive technology. One of their programs is an assistive technology lending library, and they have all kinds of devices where you can borrow from them a device, try it out for 6 weeks to see how you like it. And this would include things that could read to you. And then if you like it, they can help you locate a vendor to purchase that device. They also have a assistive technology loan program where you could actually borrow at a lower interest rate than this. Well, it's about a standard interest rate, but anyway, it's a loan that you can get that's a lot easier to get than a regular commercial loan to purchase equipment. So I don't have that number handy at the moment. I can get it for you, but that is definitely something to keep in mind as well. And then, of course, there's Division of Rehab Services. And just to mention again that the MAT program and Division of Rehab we're good partners, and we each offer training on these devices. So if you were a Doors client, you could, in addition to our training, get more training from them when you have a MAT device.
And the way it could work right now with the halt in the MAT training is you can get your device through MAT and then talk to your Doors counselor about getting training, and then they can authorize the training so that you will not only have your device, but then you will have 12 hours of training to go along with it.
Right. Thanks for that, Diane. And that's kind of our default right now. What we hope people, if they come to us at this time that we're paused for training, and they are a Doors client, then we will work with that Doors client to set that training up. If you are not a Doors client and for some reason don't want to be, which is fine, totally up to you. But if you were not and you needed training, what we could do is process the evaluation, know what you need, and then when our funding is reinstated and we can provide that trainer service, at that point in time, we could give you your equipment so that you'll have a trainer working with you from the get-go.
Yes, and if you are older blind, Doors does have a program for older blind where under their independent living skills, that's where they would put the MAT training. So don't be afraid to say, well, I'm not of working age, or, I'm not seeking employment. There's other programs at Doors that can still help you.
That's right. Yeah. And I've got the technology assistance program, Maryland TAP, as it's known. If anybody's interested, that number is 1-800-832-4827. Let me see if I can get a phone number for Division of Rehab Service.
Hello. Could you give that number again, please? Sorry.
Yeah, hold on a second. Let me pull it up. The number is 1-800-832-4827.
Okay, thank you.
To get more information about the Doors program for people over 55 who are not interested in working and want services, you can call 410-554-9107.
Are there any more questions for Jane or Diane? If there are, just go ahead and shout it out.
Actually,
a lot easier that way.
This is Peter again. I just wanted to give you guys the number as well, the main number for Columbia Lighthouse to call in directly. And that number is going to be 202 454 6400. 202 454 6400.
Could I get your email address? I would really like to get in touch with you to see if we could collaborate on some projects, or just make sure that you all have our information. Maybe we could do a presentation or some kind of,
Yeah.
the people that work at Columbia or whatever.
Yeah, let me give you my email. So it's pretty long. So I'm gonna say it pretty. I'm gonna say it slowly.
Okay, thank you.
So my email is gonna be P as in Peter, N as in Nancy, G U A M as in Michael, SAN as in Nick, IT as in Thomas, H as in Henry at clb.org. So pnamsmith at clb.org.
Might want to read that back, Jane. That was a long one.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
So it's basically your first initial and last name at
Yeah.
clb.org, correct?
You got it.
Okay,
Yeah.
I've got it. Great.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
No problem. My pleasure.
Any other questions before we wrap it up for today? Definitely want to thank everyone for coming out on this snowy morning. Makes it a whole lot easier when it's virtual, doesn't it?
We
Yes,
didn't
it does.
exercise.
Don't have to worry about transportation.
Yeah, that's for sure. It's
No
very-
worries. Yep. No Metro Access picking you
That's
up
right.
late or not.
Yeah, who needs Metro Access? Great
Well,
information,
Hey.
everybody.
I believe 657 has their hand raised. 657.
The what was it? The MAT program?
Yes.
Okay. How do I apply for the MAT program?
You can call the 800 number and request a paper application, or you can email us, or you can go to the link at mat-apply.org and do it online. What is the easiest way for you to do that?
I'll do it online. But isn't it
Okay,
isn't it a
yeah. So that's
isn't it like a two-step process? You have to fill out your. It's just like filling out for access or paratransit. You have to do your part, which is part A, and then after that you have to either print it out or get it from a fax machine and take it to a doctor and have the doctor fill out part B, and then you put it in the envelope, put it in the thing that they send to you, and then send it back. Is that how it works, or you just do the whole application online?
well, you can do the whole application online, but when you go to do that, you should prepare for it by having copies of your photo ID, your income proof, your utility bill ready to be uploaded in the application process. And then also you want to make sure that you have a way to reach whoever is going to sign off on that disability certification form. So you could have either an email address or a fax number to that person's office.
Do I still need a doctor approval, or I can just go online and just have the documents with me before I go online and then do it myself, or
Yeah.
I would
So
still need.
what happens is, as you complete that application online, you're uploading the documents, the photo ID, the utility bill, and your income proof. And then you'll get to a prompt which will ask you either for an email address or a fax number to whomever it is that you want to sign off on that disability certification form. You'll put that information in, and that will complete the process to that point. In order for it to be fully finished, we will need to get that disability certification form from that person's office. So it would be a good move to let them know that you're doing this and to be expecting that disability certification form to come through to them. The other thing that happens in the course of doing the online application is if it should what we call get stuck for some reason. So say that you did everything, you put your doctor's office's fax number in, but your doctor hasn't responded. What will happen is the system will email you and let you know it's been 7 days since you completed the application, but your doctor hasn't responded yet. So at that point, that will prompt you to, give your doctor or whomever a call and just say, hey, I'm waiting for you to do this so that I can get approved for this program.
Okay.
Yeah. And then, if you've done it and a couple of weeks have gone by and you're wondering what's going on, call us and we will sleuth out where you are in the process and what needs to be done.
And how will how will I know that I'm in the program? Will I get a welcome kit or something?
Yeah, exactly.
And what?
Yeah. Well, you would get an email or a letter that says, congratulations, you've been approved for Maryland Accessible Telecommunications Services. And it will also name who the evaluator is and how you can reach out to them. At the same time, once your application is approved, that evaluator also gets notice that you've been approved and your contact information, and they are really very good about reaching out right away to start the process of coming up with a solution for your needs.
Okay, so if I want to get the blind shell, I would have to once I get the welcome letter, then once I'm in the program, then I can call you guys and get the blind shell, or how does that work?
Right, yeah. So once your application is approved and you start that conversation with your evaluator, you can say that you're very much interested in the blind shell. And, they'll just talk to you about it and make sure that you understand what the other options are just in case. And yep, that's just about exactly what happens. You'll we'll recommend, agree about the blind shell, and then we'll go through the process of obtaining that for you and shipping it directly to you.
Okay.
One other thing to mention, we do not provide the cell phone service. We absolutely provide the equipment, but not, you have to carry your own cell phone service.
Does it carry the cell phone service? Does it work with Simple Mobile or only AT&T? Because I have Simple Mobile, and
I'm going to
what
call on
service?
Diane again for that.
Depends whose towers they're using.
I think generally the phones are unlocked. If that's the case.
They are, yes, but the blind shell is a little bit different animal.
Okay.
So if it's using T-Mobile towers, it should be fine. If it's using Verizon, it most likely will be fine. If it's using AT&T towers, there may be a little bit of APN changes that need to be made.
Okay. And the blind shell, that's Android. That's based off an Android operating system, right?
So yeah, it's Android under the hood with blind shell software.
Okay.
860 has raised their hand.
Diane.
Yeah, hello.
At least that's what came up on my captioning, is that it's Android under the hood.
Yes.
That blind shell software. Very good.
Yeah.
So, hello.
Hello. Yep.
Go ahead, Fred.
Yeah, can you hear me? Yeah. Okay. I have a blind shell phone, but I had a very difficult time using it with Verizon. I had to. They said they didn't support a blind shell, so I had to move over to Simple Mobile to use blind shell. I had the same problem at first with T-Mobile, but later they accepted it. So I just want to make that. But Verizon, I don't know if they do now, but they didn't then about 2 years ago when I had my blind shell phone.
Correct. Yes.
So I wonder if that is now. I wonder whether they now accept blind shell.
So they don't advertise it. They really want you to go in there and buy $1,000 iPhone or a Samsung. However, if you put a Verizon SIM card in a blind shell, it will work.
It's good to know. Thank you guys for the information.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to have to wrap it up, guys. I want to appreciate everyone that came out today, and for the people who have presented today, awesome job. We truly thank you for coming out on this Saturday morning. And, I hope that for great things for everyone. I hope that people get the service that they need, and we certainly have the providers out here that are willing to help and ready to assist. So thank you all for coming out this morning. Happy New Year to everyone.
Yep. Thank you.
And we'll catch you again soon. Enjoy
Thank
your
you,
day.
Jerry.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
everybody.
Bye-bye, everyone.
This has been a presentation of the Maryland State Library Agency. For links to additional resources provided by today's presenter, please visit the show notes. For more information on MSLA or the Maryland State Library for the Blind and Print Disabled, visit marylandlibraries.org.